With fungi getting their own documentary, or several documentaries, their own apocalypse, and a rapidly growing sector of our health, I wanted to do a story with someone who knows mushrooms. So I foraged for someone who could take me on a backcountry adventure. But those people would rather not share where they go, and I respect that. So I did what anyone would do. I turned to football. Former Arizona Cardinal and Denver Bronco QB Jake Plummer is a fungus fanatic, and he's invested in MyCoLove in Fort Lupton, Colorado. And they know mushrooms the way a mother knows her children. Here's Shane.
So I went through a big period of time where I tried to figure out how can I, as a single person, make the biggest net positive impact on the planet.
And what he figured out, the best thing he could do for the planet is promote the growth of fungi.
What that really means deep down is that basically you could take waste and grow food and medicines on it. And then that waste is not waste. It's like mushroom compost, which can be put back into a system. So it's a closed loop system.
So he takes me through their closed loop system, starting with the sterile barrels that sterilize the mushroom's food.
Once it's cooked, it'll get loaded on these racks, and then it'll go into the actual lab. So this is where all the magic happens. So this is our lab, basically. So this is where we would do all the clean work. It's our clean room. What you are seeing in front of you are these HEPA filters. What they do is they blow very pure air at whatever you're doing in front of it. But we also modified the room to have positive pressure filters, so that the whole room itself is basically sterile. As long as it stays sterile, once it's sterile, it'll stay sterile.
And then, with as little as one cell, the process begins.
And once you have a good culture, a clean culture on a petri dish, what we do is we transfer this into a liquid broth. So this is our liquid inoculum. So it's literally just the simple sugar recipe that's on the petri dish, but without the solidifying agent. So it's a liquid broth.
So it starts here, and then they graduate to this.
Yep.
And then that culture is amplified.
And we introduced it to a sterile jar, and that jar material is amplifying.
And then amplified again.
One jar, basically, we take 5 milliliters out of one jar to inoculate 1 pound of grain. Wow. And then that 1 pound of grain then inoculates 10 pounds of grain. And then that 10-pound bag of grain inoculates 240 pounds. So it's, again, you're just amplifying it over time.
And then, in their fully automated ecosystem, these lion's mane appear. And unless you're just completely unplugged, you've likely heard about lion's mane.
And I'm going to show you what new research indicates about why you might want to be using this mushroom too.
I think to date there's been over 630 unique species of mushrooms that have been researched. They have measured up to 130 different functions that these apply to the human body as a therapeutic measurement.
Just like reishi, one of the stars of the wellness boom. And one of the reasons that, forgive me, MyCoLove has mushroomed.
Right, there's all these mushroom brands out there, and they generally don't create their own products. They source that product from somewhere else, and that's where we supply those sorts of products.
All from this rather unsuspecting warehouse in Fort Lupton, Colorado. For the Daily Yonder, this is Jared Ewey.